repurposing my Forest Road Explorer via solar power. Last fall I took it on its first trip and found out what repairs I needed to make, and I made all of them, including a new motor, widening the wheel well, putting on a brighter headlight, and there may have been some other things I did last fall that I don't remember. But yesterday everything worked flawlessly. I drove 60 miles to where I'm camped at here, and the battery's still at 26.6 volts. Started out at 27.3, and the last hour or so the sun was mostly behind the trees, so it did great. I'm really happy with how it performed. And today I'm going to drive about 90 miles up to a national forest, and I will be showing you more of that as we go. Okay, yesterday I ended up driving I think 87, 88 miles. Took me a while to find a campsite. Found several that are deep in the woods with no sunshine, but I wanted to find a place where the sun would hit my solar panel in the morning. And the sun is just coming up there at the top of the trees. Even with my panels dripping with water and the sun's not shining on them yet. It was at 25.1 this morning, and it's already up to 25.3, and the sun hasn't even hit it yet. Once the sun comes around, I'm going to fold up my tent and turn this so the sun's hitting the solar panel as optimally as possible. And then when it gets up to 27, I'm going into town to update my old time movie website, and then I'm going to cruise around back in the forest. Alright, I got the sun is up. Got this pointed as directly at the sun as I can get it in here. Voltage when I turned it was 25.5, now it's 25.6 and climbing. Okay, I'm ready to hit the road, heading up that little trail there. See if we can do this. Didn't like that sand. Alrighty. Well, that's the road I went down. One of those, what do you call it, off-road vehicle trails. And that's where I came from last night. I'm heading down that way now. The Gilman picnic area, and did a little video editing over there at the picnic table along this beautiful river. Down there there's a waterfall, and on the other side of the river there's a campground, and it's $15 a night without hookups, $20 if you want electric and that stuff. So I did my video editing and got that all done, and then I cooked up something to eat for my lunch, and now I'm heading back to the national forest. So I'm at the Chequamegon Nicolet National Forest. This is one of the lakes that are within this part of the national forest. There's, I think, 4 different parts in northern Wisconsin. On the road just a little bit, there's a bridge here across the water, and then there's a Forest Service road turning to the right. We're going to go take a drive down that. across the causeway between the two bodies of water. Okay. This here is a road for my Forest Road Explorer, as I dubbed this machine for this trip. I'm hoping this comes back out into the body of water and there's a nice little meadow by the water that I can camp at. But it might not be the case. Nope. It's just you can't camp here because there's a berm and you're allowed to camp in berms. But I guess it's just a turnaround for, because reverse is by putting my feet through the holes. Okay, this up here is actually a dispersed campground established by the Forest Service. So it's free camping, but they have sites. Okay, straight ahead goes down to the river, and there's 3 or 4 sites down there. Take one up here if I can get sun. A little patch of sun there. And this is a loop. There's one in the center. I don't know. I think that's one. There's a little fire there, firing there. I don't care if they're firing, but it usually means it's a campsite. Let's see, which way is the sun shining here? I'm going to park here. I may stay here. Hello. Oh, there's somebody camping down here. Glad I didn't ride down. There's 2 trailers. These folks are probably going fishing right now. Pretty nice sights though, especially this one. Right by the water. Little swift water rapids there, another one up there. Right now the mosquitoes are not bad here, but they probably will be later. Here's my dispersed camp site for tonight. Set up. I was sitting outside eating and stuff, but I moved my chair inside. Show you what it looks like inside. So my sleeping pads are here, sleeping bags there. Got a little fan and some water. Chairs there. I'm just trying it now with the legs on. Usually I pull the legs up and just set the thing on there. It's kind of a rocking chair. But got an emergency toilet, tea and food supplies, and then that blue thing there is a super insulated cooler I made, and that's full of all my food. And here's a view from the back. And this side, the sun did a super job of charging it up to full. So now it's at 27.3 in the shade. So I have a bunch of my stuff in here. I won't take my sweatshirt inside yet, and then I'm going to put my cover over that. So here it is with the cover on, just in case it rains or whatever. Any crawlers come in the dark. Also, it shuts out the light from the meters and stuff if I don't shut the power off. Right now I'm using the USB on the inside for the fan, and I won't shut the power off till I'm done with that. Alright, I'm heading in to stay out of these mosquitoes that you see flying around. They're not really biting me because the mosquito repellent is doing this job, but they're still very obnoxious. Good night for now. See you in the morning. I just came in on this road here. Beautiful hemlock forest, birch, and a variety of other trees. And I saw this meadow, which was just perfect. The whole thing was lit up with sun when I pulled in. I was able to top off my batteries. I walked way up that way just to see where it would come out. And kind of thinking maybe I'd drive down there with the car, my bike, I should say, in the morning. But there were just too many deadfalls. But I did go quite a ways before it became impassable. But gorgeous, gorgeous around here. So here's my campsite for the night. See, I gotta close my side door. And all set up, ready to make a cup of tea, sit back and relax. And I did find a tick, not on me, but on the side of my bicycle. And that is that. I'm going to close this before I forget about it. Okay, there's magnets that hold that in, if you were wondering. Okay, today I had a little more adventure than I planned. Headed out in the morning and I only went a few miles. There's another tick. Yeah. You want to see me kill a tick? Put a tick on a rock, crush it with another rock, make sure there's... There we go. I don't want them eating on me. I put permethrin on my clothes before I left, and I let that first one I found crawl around on my clothes just to see what would happen. And it didn't kill them as instantly as I have seen on some videos on YouTube. Kind of destroyed my confidence in that stuff. So anyways, my adventure this morning, I just went like maybe 2-3 miles at the most, and the back tire locked up. I've actually been using that. I bought that wheel used. It's hard to find the 20-inch tire with gears on it, and I have no idea how much it was used before me, but I do have a lot of weight on it. But actually what happened is the nut came loose on this side, and that allowed the bearing nut to self-tighten as I was pedaling, and it locked it up. Suddenly it back brakes. Fortunately, it happened right next to a little picnic area boat landing, so I just picked up the back end and pushed it in there, took it apart and got it so it would spin. And then I looked on Google and found a bike shop not too far away. It was 30 miles, so I had to ride it all the way there with a very noisy bearing, but I made it, got it fixed. Pretty nice shop too. So I came back here and found this spot for the evening. Not the kind of adventure I was hoping for today, but it was still very interesting and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that bike. Soar and talking with him and some of the customers that were there. It was overall a pretty fun day. Alright, had another good night camp out here. Everything's all loaded up. Let's get a little piece of Velcro to put down yet. I thought I did my walk around. But in the morning I gotta remember to turn on the power, turn on the light switches. To get my strobe lights, I gotta get it back here. The wire wasn't long enough for me to put it up front, and I didn't feel like splicing. So, got those flashing. Tail light going. And I'm ready to hop in and head on down this road here. So, come along for the ride. So I cruise on down the forest roads in the Shagwamagan, however those guys say that, Nicolet National Forest. There's the road. Nope. So this one has a berm. According to the National Forest rules, you can camp in front of any berm. So, driving an RV, you could pull it in there, spend the night. You could do that on this one here too. I don't think I heard a single car go by on this road last night, although I wasn't real close to it. I heard a train off in the distance though. Another road that doesn't look like it goes anywhere, but nobody's been in there. But if you had a 4-wheel drive, you could drive back in that grass, camp in that opening. There we go. Another berm. So that means there was a logging road there, and they didn't want people using it, so they put a berm there. Again, it's a pull-off where you can camp. Here's what I look like riding in the seat. That's where I'm at. Climbing a big hill now. There's a creek down there. Hiking trail. Yeah, I think might be the Ice Age trail that cuts through here. Which is a through hiking trail that goes through Wisconsin north to south. Took another road. There is a nice clearing for camping. Nice area. I would have picked that if I saw it last night before I found that other place. And left goes back north into the park. But I'm heading south on my way home. I have about 90 miles to do. 80 miles to do yet today. Sandhill Crane. Lost a feather on takeoff. There you go, there's my first car for the day on this road and yesterday. Alright, bye for now. Battery's almost dead. Well, yesterday I got to find out how well I can travel when there's no sun. It was totally overcast and I went 85 miles, but it took a lot longer. If it would have been sunny, I could have been here by, well, according to Google, I could have been here by 1 o'clock. I got to stop and eat and stuff, so 2:30, and probably the latest. And I got here at 7:30, so I had to take longer breaks. Whenever I could see a shadow of any kind, I would stop and point the solar panel towards where I could tell the sun was behind the clouds and absorb as much power as I could. And then during the end of the day, when the sun got low, then it was real important for me to stop every time there was a little shadow on the road, where I could see sunshine on the road, I should say. And a few times I actually had my vehicle turning sideways in the road pointing towards the sun. But there was no traffic on these roads I'm on. One car, maybe an hour. And then I checked my charge controller, and when I was charging the last time, it was charging at like 4 amps. And so when I was pedaling, I tried to keep it under 4 amps so that I wouldn't drain the battery as fast. That way the solar power coming in is pretty well equivalent to what I'm using, except not, because I'm going through clouds and shade, clouds and shade. But I made it here. But I was going pretty slow. I had to keep it around 5 to 6 miles an hour the last 12 miles. But I went by this one on the way up. This is a state-run free campground, but it's in the Nesita National Wildlife Area. And so it's open from April 1st to May 31st. It's closed during the summer, and it opens up again in the fall. I can't remember if it ends in September or it begins September 1st, but it's open 2 months in the fall as well. And it's pretty nice. Later, after I keep my battery charged up, there's a clearing down here, so I'll pedal down there after I pack it all up and sit in the sun. Got a few things I want to work on the bike. The wheel well on this side is dragging quite a bit, especially when I turn, so I want to see if I can fix that. So I'll just putter around on little things until the battery gets charged. But it's supposed to be perfectly clear sky all the way home today. I have another 61 miles to go today. So now, I'm going to enjoy my tea. See you later. Alright, show you how I pack everything in here before I put the tent in, which tucks in along the bottom edge. So I have 2 sleeping pads. Since I broke my back, I kind of have to have a special shape. And actually there's a 3rd sleeping pad that I put on the bottom, which protects the blow-up ones from getting holes in them. And it's easier on my knees when I crawl around in here. Pillows are stuck back in there. Chairs between the sleeping bag and the pad. Blankets are just tucked in wherever. During the week, I'm on my way home now, but during the week I left the chair mostly put together and I set it on top of the cooler facing that way and put the pad on top of the chair back. Alright, show you what I go through to tear it down. So first thing I do is pull the pins out. These hold the poles in place. And I try to always put things in the same place so I can find them. I just roll them up and put them on the ledge. This is the end of the road for the camping area. It comes out into 2 meadows. There's actually maybe kind of 3. One over there, and then this side of the road. Big fire ring there. Huge meadow. Lots of room for even big Class A's could get in here. And I cleaned off my solar panels because it rained last night and I was driving in dusty gravel roads. So I'm getting good sunshine now, but my battery's really totally drained. It would only take about a minute of using the power to shut all the systems down. The battery can go down to 22 volts, but the charge controller shuts everything off before that, except for the motor. The motor's directly wired into the battery, but all of the electronics, the gauges, the lights, they get shut off first. And that did happen once yesterday because I was dodging potholes, not keeping my eye on the voltage. And so then I had to quick find a place where I could get a little bit of sun and sit and wait a long time. And when the system shuts down, you got to disconnect the solar, shut off the battery, or unplug it, and then plug the battery back in. Hopefully the battery still has enough voltage for the charge controller to turn on. And then you got to plug the solar panel back in and it'll start charging again. So I'm going to be staying here for a while. Get out my cook kit and make another cup of tea. I walked down here this morning for a little hike, like at 5:30. Mosquitoes are not near as bad here as they are up in the national forest. Down on the end, you can kind of see there's another meadow behind these trees here. And kind of in the corner over there, there's 2 trails that you can go on. They just kind of dead end in the forest, but they go a ways in. Nice little hike. I didn't hike up there yet. I'll probably do that while I'm waiting for the thing to get charged up. But once it gets charged up, as you can see, nothing but blue sky now. All the clouds are gone. So I only have 60 miles to go today. and I'll be able to go top speed most of the way, except for going up hills. Alright, tea time again. Well, I moved the bike over here. This way I could lift up the back end more and get a little better angle at the sun. I'm now, over there I was doing 2 amps, and now I'm doing almost 4. And as the sun rises higher, I should be able to get way up there. But there's the area I was at where the sun is shining on the grass. A little update. Alright, this is some fantastic trail. Heading out of a state campground in the Cedar National Forest or National Wildlife Area. Okay, this is where I was camped. Doesn't that look like a mosquito farm? This is actually cranberry country, so it's very wet. You see the National Wildlife Refuge and the rules. Attention campers, campground will be open April 1st through May 31st and September 1st through December 31st. That's cold camping there.